This new bill doesn't guarantee anything yet.
The Manitoba government is bringing forth a bill that could raise the minimum wage in this province, but some say that minimum is not enough and are pushing for a living wage for Manitobans. The current minimum wage is set to increase from $11.95 to $12.35 in October, but Kevin Rebeck from the Manitoba Federation of Labour says that raise needs to be much higher.
40 cents just simply doesn't cut it. We're all facing rising costs at the pumps and at the grocery stores, and we need to do better.
One sector that they've left out about that is the anti-poverty advocates.
Kate Keller with the Social Planning Council of Winnipeg says minimum wage should be at least $16 so people can afford to live as costs keep rising.
How do we expect people to live on what is basically about the current minimum wage? It's gross at about just over $1,900 a month. That means people are working full-time under for 40 hours a week, and they're earning about $23,000 a year.
Manitoba has the second lowest minimum wage, just ahead of Saskatchewan, which has a minimum wage of $11.81. But in October, their wage will increase to $13 an hour, which will make Manitoba the lowest. Vince Barletta from Harvest Manitoba says they are seeing historic increases in demand for food banks.
We expect that trend to continue. Increasing the minimum wage will help those wage earners tread water against the tide of inflation, but it's not going to make a big dent in overall demand for food banks.
However, Kathleen Cook from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says a major increase in the minimum wage could be detrimental for small businesses.
A lot of small businesses are still struggling right now. Almost 2/3 of small businesses in Manitoba aren't yet back to normal pre-pandemic sales. Many of them are facing down significant debt, and they're feeling squeezed by inflation too. So that's why our number one message to governments this year has been no new costs.
Labour Minister Reg Helwer says the province will be meeting with businesses and labour groups to discuss an appropriate minimum wage before making any decisions. But Rebeck says he worries what this government's decision will be.
I'm not confident that this government will take all the steps necessary to do what's right. But we know, and I think most people would agree, that the right thing is to say that workers who work full-time should have a path out of poverty and not have to live in it.
In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.